This woman arrived at the town's oldest and most mysterious mortuary, hoping to land a job in the embalming room. The caretaker warned Sam that being an embalmer here was no easy task. Then he led her over to the body of a young woman. On the corpse's left hand was a wedding ring engraved with the words, "Till death do us part." At first glance, it looked like a heartbreaking love story. But was that really the case? That's when the caretaker began telling the story behind the dead woman. Not long ago, she had just gotten married. Surrounded by family and friends, she and her husband exchanged vows, promising to stand by each other through sickness and health, until death parted them. The husband even slipped a ring onto her finger, one he had carefully crafted himself. It seemed like the two of them were destined for a lifetime of happiness together. But then a serious illness shattered the young family just as their lives were finally falling into place. The husband found himself borrowing money to pay for his wife's treatment while also working non-stop to support the household and keep up with the mounting debt. Finally, with no other options left, he asked the doctor a painful question: how much time did his wife have left?
Another year? Possibly more?
The answer left him with mixed emotions. Was he relieved that she still had another year to live? Or was he thinking about the fact that he would have to endure another year of hardship? The doctor seemed to understand exactly what was going through his mind. He didn't say much. Instead, he quietly pulled out a special medication from his bag and deliberately warned the husband that if the patient took it, she would pass away peacefully within 24 hours, without making a sound. Hearing this, the husband seemed to make a decision deep down in his heart. Later, the couple's wedding anniversary arrived. The husband prepared an elaborate dinner and even bought his wife a special gift, a beautifully carved Arctic hare made of wood. But on a day that should have been filled with celebration, he found himself trapped in an endless struggle. If he killed his wife, he would finally be free, but he would also spend the rest of his life haunted by guilt. If he didn't, how could he possibly keep living like this? After wrestling with the decision for so long, he finally confessed everything to his wife. Perhaps she had already realized how much of a burden she had become. For the first time in a long while, there was a sense of relief in her eyes. She held onto a faint breath, as if silently telling her husband that she was willing to accept whatever choice he made. The husband quietly took out the pills, crushed them into the food, and carefully mixed everything together. Then he began feeding it to her little by little. His hands trembled the entire time. A storm of emotions raged through his mind. Unable to look her in the eyes, he lowered his head and waited for death to come. But as the medication began to take effect, his wife suddenly grabbed his arm with startling force. Moments later, foam poured from her mouth and her body went into violent convulsions. Terrified that she might somehow survive and later accuse him of murder, he immediately wrapped his arms around her abdomen and desperately tried to force the food back out of her stomach. But then,